with 10 days to go, I have no idea where the next, where the next 10 days are going to take me. This has been incredible. I have connected with people in the last 20 days that I didn't even really know. I didn't know at all before I started this realignment journey. Obviously Jen Farley, who I've mentioned, I knew. Amanda Foyer didn't know. Leah Wesley Smith, I think her name is. I didn't know her. We connected, had an amazing couple of hours at Rabina, sitting and chatting about all sorts of different stuff. Julie Dubois, who connected and gave me some really, really amazing intuitive messages. Cam Blewett is another one that I've recently connected with, and this is part of this video today. Mark Slaney, I've connected with him and he's been incredible. I'm trying to think, and today, oh my goodness. I connected, and these are all people that, apart from Mark and Jennifer, everyone else, people that I've only added as Facebook friends in the last 20 days. They're all new, they're all amazing. And today I connected, someone reached out to me today and just said hi on Facebook, and his name's Robert, I think his surname's Matau. He is amazing, such an incredibly connected person. And I started watching some of his YouTube videos, and I've shared some of them on my wall, and they're amazing. I was sitting, and the energy that he was sharing through his YouTube videos the projection that he has is so incredible and so strong. It was coming right down the camera, straight into me. And I was feeling the energy and experiencing the energy of what he was projecting. It was remarkable. His YouTube channel is, I think it's called Third Eyed Rob. But if you go to my Facebook wall, you'll see some of his videos that I posted today, and I'm also subscribed to him, so if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find him there as well. He is, I don't know, he's just amazing. I sat and watched one of his videos, Enjoy, and sitting there watching it and experiencing actually being in the joy that he was in, and in the happiness and in the blissful state that he was in. Sitting there and actually experiencing that while watching him was just, it made me laugh. It was great. It made me laugh. And I highly recommend, if you want to connect with another person and have a really, really amazing enjoy experience, go and find his videos. He's incredible. And the other thing that I have created in the last 24 hours, and it's been amazing, is one of my Facebook friends who I only connected with within the last 20 days. I had posted probably a week and a half ago that I needed somewhere to leave my grandma's chair in my box, and he sent me a message and said, hey, I've got a garage, you can leave them in. And I thought, awesome. And then I had to send me a message and say, hey, you don't have a room I can stay in as well, do you? And he sent me a message back and said, oh yeah, it depends on how long and what's it for, all that sort of stuff. And as it turns out, he does have a room, and I have now given notice on the place that I'm living in, and I'm moving out on the 14th of December. And as you know, this 30-day, 30-night realignment journey started on the 14th of November, so it is 30 days to the day. So when I move out of here, and I had another healer friend of mine, I think it was Shelley or maybe it was Jennifer, one of them said, you're going inland, you're going west, and west and inland of me really is Brisbane's kind of the next logical place of where you would go. And I knew that that's where I was headed. I know there are a lot of people I have to connect with in Brisbane, and there are a lot of messages to share, people to chat to, experiences to have in Brisbane, and so that's where I'm heading. And he's offered me a room at his place. He's allowing me to bring the dogs. I'm still not 100% sure whether they're coming. I still feel like they're going to someone else, and that someone else is going to show themselves at some point. But just simply having him say that has enabled me to cross off, I think, 4 or 5 different things that were on my, I guess, on my bucket list. They weren't necessarily right at the top, but they were on my bucket list. And one of them was, I wanted to know what it was like to live in Brisbane. I've never lived there. I haven't ever really wanted to live there, long enough, like 6 months. So I haven't ever really wanted to sign a lease and live in Brisbane, but I wanted to experience what it would be like to live in Brisbane. I've also never lived in a unit. I've stayed in a unit with exes, but I've never actually lived in a unit. So I've been wanting to experience what that's like. I also haven't ever, and I was talking to a friend about this the other day, I also haven't ever lived with anyone else other than my mum or a partner. So I wanted to experience what it would be like to live with a flatmate, a friend, someone who I get on really well with, and we have really like-minded beliefs and opinions and great conversation. And so that kind of crosses that one off my bucket list. I also have been wanting to recently, probably in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've stopped eating meat and gone back to being vegetarian. My alignment isn't with eating meat. I don't really like it, and it's something that I did because I thought I had to. So I've recently stopped that and gone back to eating kidney beans and lentils and nuts and seeds and all those sorts of things. But I've been wanting to take it one step further, and I've really been wanting to look at going vegan because I don't really have dairy anymore, and I guess I have cheese and yogurt, but I'd like to shift that. I'd like to make that into something else, something better. So he's vegan. So I can cross that off my bucket list because, of course, I don't believe in going to someone else's house if they're vegan or vegetarian and eating meat or eating things that, oppose their beliefs. So I am quite open and willing to move and completely shift my eating patterns, my eating habits, and becoming vegan. And then another fantastic thing I get to cross off my bucket list, which I didn't forget was on there. I knew it was there. It was just right down the bottom. So mine must be working from the bottom up on my bucket list, and that's sort of what I feel like is happening at the moment. Was to drive a Jeep, and a convertible Jeep, and to have the experience of being in a Jeep. And this guy that I'm moving in with, he has a Jeep, and she's gorgeous. She's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful couple. So fingers crossed I'm going to be able to drive her. And yeah, that's this has all happened in the last 24 hours. When I did a video yesterday, I didn't know any of this when I created this video. So I've literally manifested all of that in the last 24 hours and created connecting with Robert, which was amazing. And yeah, I think what I got really from connecting with Robert, and also what I got from walking around the lake this morning, was this constant reminder to stay in the moment and to stay connected and to make sure I keep breathing. And one of the things I'm doing now, which has really, really come into alignment over the last couple of days, is when I have a thought or I have an emotion coming up, and it's not a thought I want, or it's not a feeling that I want, and it looks like it's going to create a reality that I also don't want, I'm taking a moment to breathe, and I'm reminding myself that everything is already taken care of. Everything that is meant to be created for me over the next couple of weeks or the couple of months as I'm going through, continuing on with this journey, everything is already created. It's already there. And I don't need to try and imagine scenarios to see how they would work out. And I don't need to imagine what the outcome would be if I take this path, or I don't need to imagine what's going to happen to me if I take that path. It's already done. It's already there. It's all there. And I haven't really felt this until really, really strongly until yesterday when I was talking to Cam, and when I was talking to him, and then I went for a walk around the lake and I did some muscle testing just to check and make sure that this was actually what I was meant to be doing. Going to Brisbane was actually on my path, and yes, this is where I'm meant to be going. And I got, yep, it's the next phase of my cycle. It's the next phase of my journey. And it was so interesting. I gave notice on this place, and it has almost been, I had this, I was standing at a crossroads, and I could either go on my walkabout journey, or I could stay, get a job, stay where I am, live here for another 6 months, save, and then go on the journey. And both of them were as equally balanced as the other, and it was really hard for me to make a decision, trying to work out which one was the pathway I was meant to go down. And what has really, really interested me, which I haven't seen, I guess, consciously before, I'm sure it's happened, I haven't seen it consciously until now, is that as soon as I made the decision that I was going walkabout, I went, yeah, okay, I'm here, I'm doing it, I'm committed, let's do it, let's go. Universe, let's go walkabout around Australia and then eventually around the world. But yeah, let's start with Australia, let's do it. And as soon as I gave notice and I said to Cam, yeah, okay, I'm moving, this is the date, I'm gonna book a van, it's all done. It was almost like the two pathways have become one. And the option of staying here and getting a job, it doesn't even exist. It's gone, it's disappeared. It's not anywhere on my radar. That whole path has literally disappeared. And it's almost like all the fears that I had around making the decisions, and all the fears that I had around what I was creating, they've all gone with it. It's really interesting. I'm really feeling like I'm on my path. I'm going exactly where I'm meant to be going. I still have no idea really how it's going to unfold. I still have no idea how I'm going to end up traveling around Australia. I still have no idea how the dogs are going to end up wherever they're going to end up, and I have a really strong feeling that there is a family, there's a home out there for them, and it is so connected and it is so aligned with them, and I have a feeling that when I go from here, I'm not taking them with me. And that whole fear about actually experiencing that has all gone. And I'm feeling like I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And I'm feeling, I guess the best way I can put it is I'm feeling in alignment, and I'm feeling completely in flow. I'm feeling completely in alignment with the pathway that I'm now walking. It feels like it makes sense to me, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand where it's taking me, but it feels like it makes sense. So that's been really, really interesting for me. Really, really interesting, and I can see there's a lot of endings. There's old money that I had has ended, all my furniture from past life, past relationships, that's all coming to an end. I really feel like when I leave here on the 14th of December, that old part of me is being completely left behind, and it is almost feeling like I'm stepping into a completely new way of being, a completely new vibration of allowing, and I guess essentially taking each moment as it comes, and doing each day moment by moment. And the whole point of this 30-day, 30-night realignment journey was to prove to myself that if you allow yourself to focus on what you believe is your path, and you allow everything else to fall away, and you actually allow everything else to fall away, then everything will naturally fall into alignment for you. And you know what? I'm at day 20, and that's kind of how I feel. I feel like everything is naturally falling into alignment now, and I'm not having to think about the outcome. I'm not having to think about the journey. Everything is falling into place. The people that are meant to be showing up are going to show up, and the way and the means of it all happening is going to appear, and I don't know how, but I'm getting so strongly that it's all going to appear. And that was so my intention when I started this whole 30-day process, was I wanted to know that it worked, I wanted to know how it felt, and I wanted to know that it was real. And at day 20, I'm really feeling like, yeah, I'm so close to achieving all of that, and getting all of that, and yeah, so it's the next 10 days, bring it on. Time to start selling all my stuff and packing everything up, and yeah, 10 days, that's it. Well, 11 actually, it's the 3rd of December and I'm moving out on the 13th or 14th, so 10 days, that's it. Stay tuned, it's going to be interesting.